Imagine waking up one morning and something feels different. Not physically, but mentally. As you open your eyes, the room around you looks unusually sharp. Colors feel brighter. The sound of distant traffic feels clearer. You can recall every dream you had last night in perfect detail, as if you recorded them on a hard drive. Your memory feels bottomless, your attention feels razor sharp, and every thought seems to happen with incredible speed. In this moment, you are using 100% of your brain all at once. And what you are experiencing is not superhuman power. It is something far more complicated, far more overwhelming, and possibly far more dangerous. For decades, people have repeated the idea that humans only use 10% of their brain. It is a myth, but a powerful one. It makes us wonder what hidden abilities we might unlock if we could tap into the other 90%. Would we become geniuses? Would we gain new senses? Would we read minds, predict the future, or learn impossible skills overnight? The truth, however, is that the human brain does not work like a locked treasure chest. It works like a massive, living city. Every region of the brain has a specific job. One handles vision, another handles touch, another handles movement. Others handle memory, language, emotions, fear, planning, and creativity. Throughout your day, different parts activate as needed. You already use your whole brain, you just do not fire every neuron at the same time. And for good reason. If every neuron activated together, it would not create supernatural intelligence. It would create a neurological storm. To understand why, imagine a city where every building, every streetlight, every machine, and every electronic device turns on at full power at the exact same second. The result is not more productivity. The result is a blackout. The system cannot handle that kind of overload. The same is true for the brain. When too many neurons fire together with no coordination, the brain enters a state of electrical chaos. The closest real experience we know of is a seizure. That is what happens when neurons fire uncontrollably without order or timing. But this is the simple version of the story. Let's explore the deeper question. What if humans evolved to safely handle full brain activation? What if our biology changed? Or a technology was invented? Or a rare mutation allowed us to use every region of the brain at full power without causing harm? What would that look like? What abilities would rise, and which human traits would disappear forever? The first major change would be memory. Today, humans forget on purpose. Your brain constantly deletes useless details so that you are not overwhelmed. If you remembered every sound, every face, every conversation, every number, and every moment of your life with complete accuracy, your mind would feel unbelievably crowded. But in a full-capacity brain, nothing would fade. Every memory would remain fresh, crisp, and instantly accessible. You could replay conversations from years ago with perfect accuracy. You could memorize books, languages, and instructions instantly. You could build ideas on top of thousands of past experiences stored in flawless detail. But perfect memory has a heavy cost. You would not just remember the good moments. You would remember every heartbreak, every insult, every failure, and every painful event you ever went through. Those emotions would not soften with time. Trauma would remain alive. Forgetting is a healing mechanism. Without it, emotions could spiral. A person with perfect memory might be brilliant, but emotionally overwhelmed. The second change would be intelligence. Not the type of intelligence we see today, where someone is simply good at math or language. A fully activated brain would create a different category of thinking. You could process information in parallel, analyzing multiple layers at once. You could see patterns instantly, even in chaotic data. You could predict the outcome of events with unbelievable accuracy. You could analyze complex systems like the stock market, human behavior, or scientific problems in seconds. This level of intelligence would feel alien to ordinary humans. It would be like comparing a supercomputer to a handheld calculator. But hyperintelligence might weaken emotional connection. Logic could overpower empathy. Decision-making could become colder. You might see people as data points instead of individuals. You might value efficiency over kindness. A mind with total brain activation could drift away from the emotional warmth that defines human relationships. The third major change would involve senses and perception. Today, you filter out almost all sensory input without realizing it. You ignore the pressure of your clothes, the background noises, the temperature changes, and thousands of tiny details. A fully activated brain might stop filtering. You would hear every sound in the room at once. You would see every flicker of light. You would feel every shift of air against your skin. This would give you extraordinary awareness, almost like a new sense. But it could also overwhelm you. The brain filters information for survival, Without that filter, the world becomes chaotic. Now imagine that millions of people around the world suddenly unlocked this full brain capacity. Society would split into two groups. On one side, natural humans who process information the normal way. On the other, enhanced individuals operating on a completely higher level. The enhanced would learn faster, work faster, think faster, and innovate faster. They would become the leaders of science, politics, economics, medicine, and technology overnight. This could create a new social divide, not based on wealth or race, but based on cognitive power. Governments would change, schools would change, jobs would change. Crimes might become harder to solve because highly intelligent individuals could manipulate systems with ease. Warfare would change, negotiations would change, entire industries might collapse because enhanced minds could automate or outthink the old systems instantly. Humanity would enter its most dramatic transformation in history. The definition of what it means to be human would evolve. But here is the twist that most people never expect. The real path to greater intelligence does not come from activating 100% of your brain. It comes from connecting more parts of the brain together more efficiently. Intelligence is not about firing more neurons. It is about building stronger pathways between them. Your brain improves when you learn new skills, sleep well, manage stress, exercise, and develop emotional resilience. These habits help your neurons communicate better, not faster. So, the real future of human intelligence may not be about activating the entire brain at once. It may be about enhancing the connections we already have. Through training, lifestyle, education, or advanced brain-computer interfaces, we might gradually extend the brain's potential safely. We may not wake up one day with limitless power, but we can push the boundaries of what we are capable of, step by step, year by year. In the end, the question is not what happens if we use 100% of our brain all at once. The real question is what happens if we learn to use the brain we already have just a little bit better every day. That improvement, multiplied across billions of people, could reshape our world more than any sci-fi superpower ever could. And that future might be closer than we think.